So springtime is here, and this is the time of year when folks really want to look and feel their best. But in a world where we're overloaded with information and influencers, it can be overwhelming trying to figure out the best way to get healthy. So we are bringing in our Add Nutrition friends, April Dirt Eater and Shalina Casanova. They're here to help us out. Good to have you guys back on this morning.
Glad to be back.
Doing well?
Yes, doing real well.
Good. So the theme of our talk today, getting healthy doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be elaborate, doesn't have to be fancy. But that being said, starting out eating healthier, focusing on health can feel like a lot at first. So why do we complicate things when it comes to our health?
It's just as simple as there is so much information out there, it just gets super confusing. If you think about it, you get on social media, the most fun thing to talk about is what diet is going to be on. You're looking at your favorite influencer. They're always talking about their diet. And so then you start questioning and you're like, well, should I be doing that? And then there's just so much information. You start to Google and then you got one source saying you should eat fruit, got another source saying fruit is bad. Should you eat carbs? Should you not eat carbs? And so then we're left with just being confused and not knowing where to start. So we might start a diet and then you find out it's not really working for you, but you try to change all these habits. So I think the biggest thing is to really just focus on really what is one thing you can do to improve your nutrition where you're at. The goal is really just to improve it by one step versus trying to be perfect from the get-go.
I like improvement over perfection.
Exactly. So
Absolutely.
Just improving your nutrition. Your goal isn't to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. If you spent years developing these habits that have not been good for you, it's going to take years to unlearn them. And so just start with one thing that you know for sure that you can start getting better.
Well, one of the things I've heard you guys talk about, it might be that you don't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
So maybe you start eating breakfast.
Absolutely.
Small little changes. So everybody is different, which means what works for me may not work for you, and it may not work for you, or it may work for you. So how do folks figure out what is best for them? What is healthy?
Right. So it depends on your lifestyle. It's very individualized. Your diet is yours, and it shouldn't be anybody else's. It depends. You might be a mom of 4 kids. You might work nights, So your diet should be very tailored to you. So not everyone should have the same diet, for sure.
How do you come up with a plan, to figure out what works for you?
The one thing that you can do, you want to look at your day-to-day, and you want to evaluate what you're doing, what kind of nutrition you're getting in. I would start there, do like a 3 to 5 day journal log, and then add in what you're missing. Kind of evaluate. When we get our clients, we'll start having them journal, and they'll notice right away, oh my gosh, I'm not getting enough protein in my diet, and so we'll start there. All right, so let's tackle protein.
Let's talk about simplifying nutrition, because I have kind of been on a journey with the two of you, and I have learned that it really is not so hard. Discipline and self-control, those are the things that are hard, but actually figuring out what to eat and how to make it work in your life, that is very manageable.
Yes.
So how do we simplify nutrition?
Yeah, it's simple, but it's not easy. So the one thing you can start doing is building balanced plates, and what that means is just having a balance of macronutrients. Protein, 4th-year plate, at least being actual quality carbs, and I'm talking starchy carbs, so like potatoes, rice. Half your plate's fruits and veggies. When you're building snacks, don't just eat, like a small 100-calorie snack pack. Make sure you're actually building it to be balanced. So if you're going to eat some oranges, pair it with a healthy fat or protein. Focus on whole foods. Just really think about it. Like, if it grows from the ground, if you can get it from an animal, like those are your whole foods. Eat those 80–90% of the time. Use convenience food items. So what that means is not highly processed food items, but those foods that make life a little bit easier, like frozen vegetables, rotisserie chickens, frozen meats, things like that you can pop in for when you do have to rely on that. It's a lot better than going through fast food. But then also, lastly, add to your meal, don't take away. All that means is instead of, always focusing on taking off the bun, could you actually just balance it out? So if you're eating a burger, do the bun and maybe add a vegetable.
Well, I love it, and I felt really good when I listened to your podcast yesterday, and I heard that you also sometimes let those fresh fruits and vegetables go.
Yes.
So go ahead and get the frozen.
Yes.
So the conversation does continue on the Add Nutrition podcast. We only have so much time here, so you can head over to any streaming services to listen to their podcast. Thank you both for being here with us this morning.
Thanks, Des.